We start with something helpful for you because it has been helpful for me. So support for the Don Lemon Show today comes from Zbiotics. Let me tell you about this stuff. It has saved me after more than a few late nights. Zbiotics is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It is designed to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Now, here's how this stuff works. When you drink, your body produces a toxic byproduct in your gut, and that's what makes you feel awful the next day. It's not dehydration. Zbiotics creates an enzyme that breaks that down before it builds up. Now, I first tried it before a dinner party. I told you to drink first glass of wine, maybe some tequila, whatever. The next morning, I was up early, sharp, ready to go, ready to do the show. And now with football season here, I don't tailgate without it. Whether you're celebrating a big win or just catching the game at home, make Zbiotics your first drink of the night. So head over to zbiotics.com/lemon and use the code LEMON for 15% off of your first order. And they've got a 100% money back guarantee. So there's zero risk. That's zbiotics.com/lemon. Let's go. Let's go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hot Topics on this beautiful Monday morning. How was your weekend? How was your no Kings protest? What did you do? A lot of you are sending us photographs. We're going to show you those in just a second. But wow, tea is good. I hope you have tea or coffee, and I hope you had a good weekend. Seriously, I had a fantastic weekend. The show was extremely successful. The protests were extremely successful all over the country. You guys tuned in to our coverage. I'm so happy that you did. I want to talk to you about some of it and talk to you because we have the thumbnail. Stand by 1 second. There we go. We have the thumbnail of Donald Trump completely just basically shitting on America. I mean, that's what he did, and we're going to show you the proof. And he did it to the protesters who were out on the No Kings March, and specifically using the image of this young influencer, Harry Sison. I don't know if you guys know him. You should. He's very popular. Harry's going to join us in just moments to talk about this. I want to get his take on it because I thought it was outrageous. I think it's outrageous that the president of the United States can behave this way. So you guys sent some of the pictures. I just want to start off on a positive note. Let's show some of the Lemonheads, just the folks who are out and about this weekend. And you guys were showing us through your photographs. We asked, you can just roll them. So just protests all around the country in many cities, states, and municipalities. We got hundreds. We got at least 150, I should say, of these photographs from our email here at the Don Lemon Show. And it's the donlemonshow@gmail.com if you want to send us images of this, or if you're wearing your merch or whatever. Never forget your oath. And so it's just veterans and just average, normal Americans. And I believe that this is a shift. I choose to not believe. I know that this is positive. And I know that the Trump administration is freaking out about this. No kings, no kings, no kings. Just images from all over the country. Thank you for sending them in. I'm going to get as many on as possible. But we see you and we respect you. We don't want to insult you with things that you don't need to see or hear. And you also sent video as well. And every single day, insulting your intelligence by pretending that what is happening in the world is normal, that what the Trump administration is doing is normal. So I want you to sit back with me this morning, and I want you to go through the news with you, because look, these are perilous times. I'm not going to lie. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. All right, beautiful ladies. These are perilous times, and you have to treat it with the urgency and with sobriety, meaning sober in the sense of just being aware. And as I believe in what awoke really means is to be conscious and aware of what's going on around you and the forces that are trying to take you out of normality or normalcy. This is not normal. So I choose to believe, and I know, old people be knowing, right, that this is something good for America. So the question is, where do we go from here? So let's get you started, and then we're going to talk to Harry in just a little bit. But go with me, class. Now, here's what I want you to do. I need you to hit the thumbs up and the like button, no matter where you're following us. If you're on TikTok, smash the screen, hit the hearts, but make sure, because it does affect the algorithm, and more people become aware of our channel here. This is someone just said something that I think is very important. Pay attention to your surroundings. Thank you, Amb or AMB fan, Am fan. Thank you. Pay attention to your surroundings. Even when the president of the United States literally takes a poop on the country, and that's not, I'm not being hyperbolic about it. He literally posted that this weekend. I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not lying. This is not misinformation. This is real stuff. Proud of everyone peacefully protesting. Amen. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Don Lemon Show. Welcome to Hot Topics. And we're going to begin this week with a simple truth, one that should echo from every corner of this country today. The people are done. The people are done with the lies. I'm done with the lies. I don't know about you. I'm done with the cruelty. The people are done with the arrogance. The people are done being mocked. They're done being dismissed and ignored and treated like they don't matter in their own democracy. Let me warn you straight off, MAGA, Trump administration, don't underestimate what happened this weekend. Don't dismiss what happened this weekend. You know, the Tea Party, Democrats dismissed the Tea Party, and the Tea Party, what eventually became MAGA. So MAGA, careful what you dismiss, careful what you mock and who you mock. Now, I know you're going to pretend like this is awful. These people aren't American. Who cares? But that's what you have to do because you're scared. Because this weekend, millions, not hundreds of thousands, not hundreds, not thousands, but millions of Americans poured into the streets of this country in cities and towns all across the nation. And they did it not in anger alone, but they did it with a purpose. Look at that. Look at these people. Come on. They did it not as partisans, but as patriots. All over the country, there were more people in small cities than were at Donald Trump's inaugurations, in protest in small places around the country. They did it to say with one loud and united voice that they will no longer tolerate a government that spits on their rights while wiping its boots on the Constitution. I forgot my Constitution. I said I was going to bring it down. And how did the President of the United States respond? Did he listen? Did he engage? Did he even pretend to care? Did he? Nope. Donald Trump posted an AI-generated meme of himself in a fighter jet, defecating on protesters. You think I'm lying? Defecating on the very people he's supposed to serve. And one young influencer, Harry Sison, whose only crime was speaking out. That's where we are, America. Here is that video proof. Watch closely. Now, come on now. The President of the United States taking a dump on the American people, releasing the waste from a jet. By the way, this is a very man who is a draft dodger and claimed that he had bone spurs. That's where we are, America. That's what leadership looks like under this man. A shit show. It is juvenile, it's petty, it's humiliating. He's not standing above the people. He's not trying to comfort the people. He's not saying, I'm the president of all America. He is taking a dump on them. He's taking a dump on you. And Democrats, where are you? Media, where are you? The president of the United States took a dump on the American people, and yet this is normal. And here we are going into a week like as if this is normal. But should any of us be surprised? Should we be shocked that a man who lies about elections, who calls violent insurrectionists hostages, who threatens to jail his political opponents, would also think it's funny to digitally relieve himself on the First Amendment? Because remember, people have a right to protest. People have a right to assemble. It's part of the First Amendment. This is who he is. This is who he's always been. He's always been a bully with a Wi-Fi connection. He's always been a bully with a social media platform. Even when he was taken off Twitter, he started his own. He's always been, he's a strong man with the maturity of a high school troll. Not even a high school troll. It's like a juvenile. It's like a junior high school troll, maybe elementary. And he thinks that this country is too tired, too cynical, too divided to fight back. And MAGA gets upset because they say, oh my gosh, the libs and people on the left, they dismiss the Trump people as deplorable or not smart, dumb, not educated. Well, he says he loves the poorly educated. But I have never seen a Democratic leader, especially the president of the United States, take a literal poop on the people. Basically, he's saying, you belong where the poop is and we're flushing you down the toilet. We don't care. And here's the thing. He doesn't understand that this weekend proved that him wrong, that he's wrong about that. Because those millions who marched peacefully, powerfully, purposefully, they were not a sideshow. Not one arrest in New York, I believe, for connected to the rally, and in Washington, D.C. This was a signal. These things are a warning. It's the beginning of something that cannot be contained by memes and mockery. People said the same thing about the damn Tea Party in 2009. They laughed at the Tea Party. They shrugged. They said it was just noise. And then that noise became what? That noise became a movement that reshaped American politics for a generation. And this is no different. And this is where the people who don't believe in this tyranny, this is what they need to do next. I hate to say it, but take a page from the Tea Party. Go back in history, read about it. And if I were him, if I were Donald Trump, if I were any Republican in Washington, I would stop laughing long enough to start listening to people. Because even in all of this madness, this is something that I think is a big distraction. I don't think there's any logic to it, but I'm going to try to explain it because people were asking me about it. I don't give a shit about George Santos. But the other big news this weekend is that the president of the United States commuted George Santos' sentence. George Santos is a clown. George Santos is a criminal. George Santos is a con person who lied about his name. He lied about his background. He lied about his education, his religion. Hell, he even lied about his mother's death. If you lie about your mama's death, come on now, that is the lowest of the low. He scammed donors. He stole campaign funds. He conned his way into office. And what was the reason for this extraordinary act of mercy from the most powerful man in the world? The excuse was that he voted Republican. That's it. That's the standard now. Vote with my party and you can lie, you can cheat, you can steal, and then you can walk free. I mean, why not, right? He did it for the insurrectionist criminals. It actually happened to him. He is a convicted criminal. He got away with it. Think about what that says to every single American. It says that laws are no longer about justice. They're about loyalty. It says that accountability does not exist. If you're on the right team, then you don't have to worry about accountability. It says that if you stand close enough to the throne, the crown, right, the king will protect you. No matter how corrupt you are, no matter how much of a bullshit artist you are, no matter how much of a clown you are, no matter how much of a fool you are, that accountability doesn't matter. And it's not just Santos. It's the January 6th rioters, many of whom have been pardoned or promised pardons, Michael Flynn, Roger Stone, Paul Manafort. And let's be real, Donald Trump himself, right? A man who faced multiple felony indictments, still facing them. We'll see what happens after he's out of office. We'll see what happens. But he got away with it because he has immunity now that he's president of the United States. Because in this America right now, under the administration that we're in, crime is no longer the problem. You know what the problem is? The problem is people who don't support them, people who don't believe in the bullshit, people who believe in due process. That's it, right? That's the problem. Crime is no longer the problem. Losing is the problem. And still, it rots, the fish rots from the head, right? It goes deeper than that. The latest ceasefire deal, right? This whole, oh my gosh, Nobel Peace Prize. Donald Trump solved peace in the Middle East. Media, where are you? Where are you? Are you still believing Donald Trump should get a peace prize? Are you still believing that there is an actual ceasefire in Gaza and Israel? Now, look, maybe it's just a little setback. Who knows? But the latest ceasefire deal, it was hailed as this fragile breakthrough. Now is on life support. It may already be dead. Both sides trading fire again. Diplomacy is collapsing. Trust is evaporating. The world sees an America that can't lead because it can't even govern itself. And then here at home, as you guys know, ICE agents are terrorizing communities. Now, as we speak, moms are dropping their kids off at school, depending on which time zone you're in. And some of them, I would imagine, may already be on their way to the detention center without due process, because we've seen it happening far too often. The National Guard is patrolling our streets. Civil rights are being trampled every single day, multiple times a day. The Constitution, the very document that holds this country together, it's being treated like an inconvenience. The Constitution is supposed to be a covenant, but it's being treated like an inconvenience right now. Put that, please, back up about the Palestinians. They have stopped food aid to Gaza. There was nothing, the one before that. Over 100 Palestinians have been killed by Israelis since the ceasefire. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Amy Gabriel. Thank you, guys. But where's the reporting on that? I told you, this whole big pomp and circumstance that happened last week, or when it was, or whatever, the week before, I forget, because Donald Trump just steps on all of the headlines. That whole big ceasefire, that whole big pomp and circumstances of meeting 2025 peace summit. Come on. Come on. A Donald Trump Inc. production. And don't fall for it. People are falling for it and treating it as if it's normal, reporting on it as if it's normal, and it's not. And all of this is happening while the president's approval rating sits at 37%. 37%. One of the lowest of any modern presidencies. That's not a partisan poll. That is a national. I think that is a verdict on this president, just like the guilty verdict for the criminal counts and the liable verdict ruling for civilly in a civil courtroom for assaulting or abusing a woman. Why? Because people know. They see the prices in the grocery store. Prices are up. They feel the weight of an economy that works only for the rich, tax cuts for the rich, not for working class people. They watch policies that punish the vulnerable, reward the powerful. The George Santos of it all. Now, George Santos got out of prison. He only served 3 months of, I think it was supposed to be like 7 years or something. I forget exactly. And so he got out, but people are being detained every day, even when they are legal U.S. citizens with no due process. People see the disrespect, they see the dysfunction, they see the deliberate cruelty, and they are tired, they are angry, and they are done. I saw it on the streets of Chicago. You heard the gentleman. I don't have to play him. Maybe we'll play him later. But you heard him say, I'm sick of it. Stop lying to me. Stop telling me how I should feel. And here's the part that should truly terrify the people in power. When people reach that point, when they cross that invisible line between frustration and refusal, that's when history turns. That's when movements are born. And that's when those who once seemed untouchable find themselves really dragged down by the very people they mocked. And so make no mistake about this. This weekend's rallies were not a flash in the pan. I don't believe that at all. They were organized. They were disciplined. They were overwhelming. They were overwhelmingly peaceful and positive. And they were a message to the White House, to every lawmaker clinging to its coattails. Your time is running out. So laugh if you want, because they laughed at civil rights marches too. They laughed at the women who demanded the vote. They laughed at farm workers and gay activists and climate protesters. But the arc of history doesn't bend because power decides to be generous. It bends because people decide they have had enough. And this weekend, America decided. So as the president sits behind his phone, posting memes, as he commutes the sentences of liars and thieves, as he shrugs at collapsing ceasefires and collapsing approval ratings, he might want to remember something here that's very important, that governments do not fall because they are mocked. They fall because they lose the consent of the governed. And the governed are speaking right now in the streets, in the polls, in the roar of millions of chanting that they will no longer be ignored. It's not just a bad news cycle. It's not just a tough week. This is the beginning of the end of the people putting up with their bullshit. Because the people are done. They are done. Done being treated like jokes, done being treated like enemies, done watching the powerful use their power to mock, silence, and steal. And if this administration is too arrogant to see it, too drunk on its own lies and power to recognize the shift that's happening right beneath its feet, then let him say it plainly. Let me say it plainly for them. And I want you to hear me now. On this Monday morning, the people are not going anywhere. But you might. A word from our sponsors, and then Harry Sison. Support for the show comes from Ollie. This one is for all the dog parents out there, and you know that I'm one of those dog parents. Boomer Barkley and Gus Gus are part of my family, so I want the absolute best for them. That's why I switched to this. That's why I switched to Ollie. They deliver fresh human-grade meals packed with protein and nutrients, made with real ingredients that you'd recognize from your own kitchen. They love this stuff. I noticed a difference almost immediately. Shiner coats, more energy, and even my pickiest eater finishes his bowl. And Ollie makes it easy. Just take their 30-second quiz, and they build a meal plan tailored to your dog's exact needs. Plus, the Ollie app connects you to real experts for on-demand health screenings. So head over to ollie.com/lemon and tell them about your pup and use the code LEMON to get 60% off of your first box. And if you're not totally satisfied, they offer a happiness guarantee. Okay? So that is OLLIE.com/lemon. Your pups will thank you for this. Support for the Don Lemon Show comes from Beam. So let's be real. The news cycle doesn't stop and burnout is real, but here is the thing. Rest is resistance. One of the best ways to keep fighting, thinking, and showing up is by getting real restorative sleep. That's why I use this. It's Beam's Dream Powder. It is a natural sleep blend that helps you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up clear-headed. No grogginess, no fog. It is packed with science-backed ingredients like reishi, magnesium L-theanine, and apigenin, and melatonin. And it actually tastes good. I love the cinnamon cocoa flavor. I love this one. It is delicious. Okay? Because this has become a part of my nightly routine now. And since I started using it, my mornings are sharper, more focused, more me. Beam has already improved over 17.5 million nights of sleep. And now it is your turn. Go to shopbeam.com/lemon. Use the code LEMON for up to 40% off. That's shopbeam.com/lemon. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Okay, so let's get into this and let's show some of the evidence of what we're talking about. I showed you a little bit ago of this poop video that Donald Trump did on the plane. Now, this came from a Twitter exchange, partially and then there was a Twitter exchange with JD Vance and then Harry Sison, okay, about the poop video. So I showed you the poop video, and then let's show you the tweet from JD Vance. First, Harry says, "Can a reporter please ask Trump why he posted an AI video of himself dropping poop on me with a fighter jet? That would be great, thanks." And then JD Vance says, "I'll ask him for you, Harry." Bizarre. Let's show you the video again, and then we're going to bring Harry in. Here's the video. Unbelievable. Crazy. There's music in it, so we're not playing the music because we don't own the music, right? We don't have the rights to the music, so we took the music out. But there you go. There's Harry getting pooped on, and then also Americans who are exercising their First Amendment right. Harry Sison joins us now. Good morning, Harry. How are you? I saw you in the background looking at that. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, that's kind of my reaction as well. I was listening to you cover this story, saying like, "Oh, there's Harry getting, oh my God, there's Harry getting pooped on by the president of the United States." It's just not a sentence, number one, I imagine you ever thought you'd say, or
No.
a sentence I ever thought I'd hear. So it's been really crazy to watch all of this unfold.
Yeah. What do you think about, how do you feel about that? It's not, look, I know that you have a tough skin. You've gone through this before, but what do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I just think, yeah, I think this is actually bigger than me. I know that this video was attacking me, but there were also millions of Americans that were also displayed in that video, also getting attacked by the president of the United States. So he's attacking me in a petty, gross, disgusting way. But I think the more concerning story here is that, I think this is his genuine feelings toward peaceful protest, that if he could, he would attack in some way, shape, or form the people who dissent. So I don't think that this is it's just about me or like the gross attack. I think this is a broader, more concerning story surrounding the Trump admin.
Isn't it a broader, more concerning story? You're correct. Isn't it one, though, about how he feels about the American people? I think he thinks he only governs for and is the president of the people who voted for him. But these were millions and upon millions of Americans who are out there saying that they were tired of the, no pun intended, the bullshit that is happening right now. And yet he has a 37% approval rating. I think he should be a little bit more cognizant about how the country is really feeling about his policies.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think, right, for somebody that's in politics, you'd think that they'd want to appeal to the most amount of people possible. But I think our argument on the left just got a lot stronger over the past 24 hours. And I actually made another video, a follow-up video in response to this, making the point that I think Donald Trump just proved us all right with what he did, and JD Vance's attack on me. Our point at the No Kings protest is that Donald Trump's an authoritarian. He's not a serious person. He doesn't care about this country. He doesn't care about you. And when he's posting childish AI videos of him attacking me, attacking millions of other peaceful protesters, Americans who are using their First Amendment rights, I think he's proven what we've been saying about him for years now. And so unintentionally, I think Trump actually kind of did us a favor with this whole disgusting story.
Harry, I don't want to I'll talk to you about the JD Vance of it all in a second. Well, let's just talk about it now and then we'll go on. I mean, JD Vance, like responding to you with, I mean, don't these people have anything better? The president of the United States, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not minimizing your importance and, your reach in the culture. But even when I was on CNN and the president would tweet about me, I would say, why do you care what a cable news anchor says about you? Why do you think he cares about a young influencer? Like, doesn't him and JD Vance have better things to do with their time?
Well, no, Don, I don't think you're minimizing me at all. I think you're actually exactly right. I have no idea why the president of the United States and the vice president of the United States are more interested in social media beef with a 23-year-old who's still in college, as opposed to, being interested in leading the country. It's not an answer that I have. I think it actually speaks to the mentality of Donald Trump, why he's in politics in the first place. He's more interested in views and clicks than he is, making people's lives better. But on the point of JD Vance in particular, I don't think this guy has anything to do during the day. I think his job in the White House is kind of just tweet, attack people on social media who are against the administration, and then occasionally go make a speech. I don't really think JD Vance has anything else to do. And I think Donald Trump, of course, wants to be in the spotlight as much as possible.
Why do you think I think they're kind of obsessed with you. You think JD may have a little crush on you or something?
Maybe. I think I think we're all collectively living in their heads rent free right now. And so I just happen to be the latest victim of it. But I think it's not just a me thing. I think he has a a little bit of a crush on all of us. He just won't ever admit it.
Where do I don't want to put words in your mouth, but where do you think we are in this moment? Because I believe that these protests it's a turning point for America. And I think it was also a turning point for Democrats or anyone who doesn't believe in this tyrannical government and their policies and taking away people's due process rights, et cetera, everything that's going on in America right now. I think this is the beginning of the end. I liken it to the Tea Party because Democrats sort of poo-pooed, again, no pun intended, the Tea Party. And then the Tea Party eventually led to MAGA, right? And so now you have millions of people who are finally saying, I'm fed up. And I think that this gave them the confidence to continue to push back and, oppose going forward.
Yeah, I think you make the point really well. I think we are actually in a very pivotal moment in American history and in this administration. You pointed out that Donald Trump's approval rating is a record low. Donald Trump's policies are not going as he promised they would. Prices are still going up. He is failing in every aspect of the presidency. And meanwhile, us on the Democratic Party side, the No Kings protests got bigger from the one in June by 2 million people. 2 million more people attended No Kings across the United States than they did at the last one. And our resistance to the Trump administration is only growing stronger. And you're seeing all these amazing videos of patriotic Americans out there, red, blue, middle, protesting against what Trump is doing, the authoritarian takeover, the tyranny of it all. I mean, it's really something. And so I think Donald Trump is kind of running scared. And that's why I think he kind of engaged in this AI crap. Again, no pun intended. It just keeps coming up over the past couple of days.
Listen, they responded by saying that they didn't care about the protesters because I'm meaning MAGA, that it was all old white people, which is shocking to me because MAGA is made up of a whole lot of old white people. So is there any credence to that? Not that it should be dismissed, but there didn't seem to be in the crowd a lot of young people. And so is that concerning for you? Do you disagree with that or agree with that?
I actually, I was in the No Kings protests in Manhattan. And of course, I saw a lot of like adults in the sense that, maybe there were 40 and above, 30 and above. But I also saw a lot of young people. A lot of young people came up to me and said that they appreciated my content. So maybe I'm just like biased from the amount of people I talked to that were especially on the younger side. But I don't know. I thought there was a good representation of all backgrounds and all ages at the one I went to. At least I can only speak for Manhattan.
Yeah. So the youth are involved, you believe, in this moment going forward, Harry?
I do. I think Gen Z and everybody, below the age of 30, whatever it might be, people that are typically not big voters, not interested in politics all that much. I think their interest is like hypercharged at this moment with seeing everything take place. And I only think that trend is going to get worse for Trump. You're seeing the polling on young people just get worse by the day for the Trump administration. Even young men, which is surprising, even young white men are starting to move away from Trump. So we got to keep working on it, pushing forward, but it's not going well for them right now.
No, not at all. Harry, thank you. What's your message to the Trump administration before we let you go?
I'm sorry that I bother you so much that I have to live in your heads rent free. But you can't stop it. You can't silence me, can't silence Dom, can't silence anybody. And we're going to keep going.
Harry Sison, thank you. And by the way, I mean, whatever it did wonders for your hair. Whatever, your hair looks good this morning. Whatever they.
Thank you. I just got out of the shower. I have to go to a meeting now, but I just got out of the shower, so it's all fresh.
I was trying to make a joke about the poop, but that's okay. Anyway, Harry.
It hasn't hit yet. It still is like this is a surreal moment. So
yeah, Harry, take care. Be safe out there, okay? And we appreciate you coming on. Harry Sison, everyone. I mean, it's outrageous, don't you think, what happened? We think Harry's one of the leaders, one of the young leaders who are on the right side of history. And so I'm glad that he was here. And they did. They said, basically, was there a tweet or where do we have that? Was that a soundbite? I don't remember, Andy, where they said it was all old white people. There it is. Here it says, the right GOP Trump administration climbed down from the No Kings is a hate America rally whose attendees will be Antifa terrorists and Hamas sympathizers. Oh, and the protesters are losers for not watching college football instead. And many of them are old and white. It's pretty funny. Matthew Gertz. Interesting. Wow. Talk about not being self-aware. No self-awareness among the Trumpsters. I can't even believe that I showed. Can you guys believe I actually showed a video? I can't believe I showed it, but I can't believe that he did it, of Donald Trump taking a poop on America. It's really unbelievable. There's also, Twitter is slamming. So let's talk about the media here. Because I told you, like, the media likes to, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's reflexive. Maybe they don't even realize it, but they like to normalize these things or pretend that this is normal. It's not normal. People don't do this. Presidents aren't supposed to do what the Trump administration is doing. It's just not done. But I guess in this day and age, it is done, okay, for this administration. But apparently, CNN wrote an article about the poop video, which was just sort of galling to a lot of folks. I have to read the entire article, but this is a quote. Trump's response to No King's marches only proved the protesters' point. Okay. But then during that thing, it said something about that this is quote, a clever political trick. MAGA supporters can blast anyone who takes offense to the post as lacking a sense of humor and being prim. The post also trivializes protesters' gravely serious claims that America is witnessing a wannabe autocrat, but they also subtly advance the thesis that Trump is all-powerful and immune from dissent, an attractive proposition to voters who like a strong man. The thing that caught people off guard about that was obviously the entire paragraph there, but the top part of it that says it was a clever political trick. And then if you look at the post of the criticism above that, it says somehow if Biden posted a video of themselves literally shitting on protesters, I don't think CNN would describe it as a clever political trick. What the fuck is this garbage? That's what I mean. Clever political trick. That's certainly one way of putting it, don't you think? Huh. Okay. Well, we spoke to a lot of people this weekend out on the streets. The Don Lemon Show and our social media team, as we were doing our coverage. We're going to tell you about our coverage, but I want you to hear some of the people. Hang on one second, Matthew. Okay. I want you to hear some of the people who were out there this weekend, and this is from our social media team, and because the people were out there, they had specific reasons. They were very articulate in what the reasons that they were out. They were not members of Antifa. They were not un-American. As a matter of fact, they were the most patriotic Americans because they understand the Constitution and our right to be able to criticize our own country and our own government. Here's some of the folks that we found the Don Lemon Show this weekend. Watch.
What would you say to Donald Trump if he was watching right here, right now?
Release the Epstein files.
Fuck you, I hate you, man.
Get out of office immediately. You're not helping anyone. In fact, you're hurting the entire population. Immigrants are welcome here.
You need help, man. The people around you are taking advantage of you. You're an old man with dementia. This is elderly abuse. Also, fuck you.
It's really hard, just one thing. Bring back democracy.
You're only fooling a small percentage of the population with your lies.
We all see through your lies. You're racist. There's no other words to say it, but you're racist.
Step down. Step down and do the right thing. You need to just go. You know that. I mean, he's not well. And I don't want to be like this. He's ineffective, and you know you're ineffective.
Your days are numbered.
And what does that mean?
You're going to be out soon. And even if you make it to your full term, history's not going to be light to you. You're on the wrong side of history.
And that's what we did in independent media this weekend. And I see you in the comments. Thank you for saying that. We're going to show you some of our coverage and quite frankly, show off some of our coverage, because if you missed it, you really missed out on a very interesting show. So we did not sit there on panels pretending that this was somehow normal and talk about it with the Trump administration and blah, 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 how they're going to respond in MAGA. Let's give a MAGA person a platform them so they can talk about why it's okay for people's due process rights to be. None of that. None of that. But first, I want to tell you about something, Americans. We're going to talk about the things that happened this weekend. The Trump administration responding again with another AI-generated video. You're not going to believe that. But also, as this is happening, people are on the verge of losing their health care, losing their health insurance. That is one reason the government is shut down right now. So there are important things that you need to know about healthcare, and I really want you to take a listen, especially if you're 64 years or older. I want to talk to you about something that really matters, especially if you are 64 years old or older. It's Medicare annual enrollment season, and this is a time to pay attention, everyone. I just went through it with my mom, and perhaps you have been there too, sitting at the kitchen table, buried in paperwork, trying to make sense of it all. Plans have changed. Some were even canceled. And get this, according to the Wall Street Journal, if you're not careful, you could end up paying more, even lose coverage for your doctor, for the doctor that you trust. So pay attention. That's why I am telling you about Chapter. Chapter is the Don Lemon Show Network's new health partner. They review every plan nationwide to find out what's best for you, not what makes them money. Their help is 100% free. It takes about 20 minutes. And on average, people save around $1,100 a year. So don't wait. Call Chapter at 212-931-0855 before December 7th and make sure you and your family are protected. Support comes from Henson Shaving. And I've got to tell you, this razor, this changed the way that I shave. Now, most of us grew up with those plastic multi-blade razors that leave your skin irritated. I hate those things. As a matter of fact, my dad used this when I was growing up. So it is similar to that, but Henson takes a completely different approach. They build their razors with the same aerospace level precision that they use to make parts of the Mars rover. So the blade barely extends beyond the razor head. That's what I love so much. So if you don't get all that cutting and stuff, that means less flex, less irritation, and a much smoother shave, smoother, skin-friendly shave. So when I switched, I noticed fewer razor bumps and no more burn. And here's the best part. Once you own a Henson razor, replacement blades cost less than 10 cents each. No gimmicks, no subscriptions, no plastic waste. So visit hensonshaving.com/lemon and use the code LEMON to get a free pack of 100 blades, enough for 2 years of shaving. That's Henson, HENSONSHAVING.com/lemon. Now, let me just tell you this. As a man of color, I have curly hair, right, that grows back in. It really helps to get rid of it, that razor bump to subside, and then it doesn't really scratch your face. Look, I'll get close. No makeup, no nothing. I shaved and used a little, antiseptic or whatever afterwards. Perfect. So check out the Henson Shaving. Support for the Don Lemon Show comes from Lean, and I wish I had known about this sooner. If you've ever lost weight just to gain it right back, then you're not alone. Doctors call it weight cycling, and it is linked to serious risks like diabetes, liver damage, and heart disease. Lean was created by doctors to help break that cycle, and it's not a shot or a fad diet. It is a daily oral supplement that targets weight loss in 3 ways. It helps control appetite, it helps to maintain healthy blood sugar, and convert fat into energy. That means losing weight at a steady, healthy pace and actually keeping it off. So if you're ready to make a change, go to takelean.com and use the code LEMON for 20% off. That's TAKELEAN.com. The promo code is LEMON, and start building a healthier future today. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Yes, thank you so much to all of our sponsors. So while people were out on the streets protesting, exercising their First Amendment right to assemble, the Trump administration was putting out memes. You saw the one of him pooping on people, on protesters. This is another one. This one is from J.D. Vance, also an AI-generated video. The maturity or immaturity of it all. Watch. Putting on the crown. Now, this is the vice president of the United States, and then a sword. And by the way, Donald Trump has said he's not a king. And then you have Nancy Pelosi and Democratic leaders bowing down. When really this was during, I believe it was George Floyd. Or maybe was that George Floyd, or was that, no, I think that was maybe John Lewis's death. I don't remember. But obviously not bowing down in front of Donald Trump. It is gross. Again, that is the vice president of the United States. It was George Floyd. Okay. So let me show you what we were doing this weekend as they were out there, as they were putting out their memes, and what you were doing this weekend. And I thank you so much for it. So this is, we had some fantastic lawmakers come on, and I'm going to play a little bit of each of them, okay? So are you guys ready for this? It's going to be Eric Swalwell first. We got answers for the people. No corporate influence, no false equivalence, none of that bullshit. First, Eric Swalwell answering to the people. Here it is. Right on. Hey, DL. I know DL doesn't like panels, but I don't think he'll mind sharing the stage with this next person. That's Congressman Eric Swalwell. Congressman, thank you for joining us. You're on with Don Lemon, Joy Reid, Jim Acosta, DL Hughley. What's going on, Congressman?
Hey, I'm in Sacramento right now, California's state capital. It's the capital right behind me. We have Prop 50 in just 20 days. Prop 50 is not to save California, it's to save the country. It's going to match what they're doing in Texas. And so I'm motivated to make sure everyone here gets their ballot in so that we can win the midterms. Amen. And look at this.
Congressman, how worried are you about that?
About 10,000 people here at the state capitol. It's going to be close,
Wow.
Jim. It's right now it's polling around 51, 52%. But we got to get the ballots in, and we can match what Texas is doing. And by the way, on November 4, we win California, we win Virginia, we win New Jersey, we win the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. That's a sweep. That's momentum, baby. That's how you go into the midterms with your confidence boosted, the other side demoralized, and you win and sweep the midterms.
That was Eric Swalwell. And then we had the head of the Oversight Committee, who is Robert Garcia. And California Representative Robert Garcia is listening to Senator Bernie Sanders there as well. We'll continue to monitor that speech. But Representative, we just spoke with Representative Eric Swalwell. And this is, I believe, a momentous day. I believe in opportunity for the people who are opposing the tyranny of this government that we have right now. People are out marching, they're protesting, they're exercising their First Amendment right to assemble. And so far, so good. What's your assessment as you are? What are you observing as you see this?
Now, incredible. Obviously, Bernie's amazing, doing a great job there. No, we're excited. Look, I'm out here in California, and so we're about an hour away from our No Kings event that's going to start here in Long Beach. I'm actually hitting up a couple of the events, and so right after I get off with you, I'm going to go meet up. There are thousands and thousands of people already lined up at our park, or Central Park here in the city of Long Beach. It's really exciting to see just people motivated and united, really to say enough of Donald Trump, enough of his wanting to rule over us without any regard for decency, for humanity, for our democracy. And I think what you're seeing today in cities across not just the country, but in some cases the world, is a rejection of Donald Trump. And I think we should be very clear about that. This is
and also with us, you see that Jen Welch was with us as well, Miles Taylor with us as well, and then and also Qasim Rashid in Chicago. So everybody, we had folks all over, and then Jasmine Crockett, Congresswoman, came on as well. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett joins us now. Congresswoman,
come on now.
We love some Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
So, Congresswoman, were you out and about on the protest, and what do you give us your observation and your thoughts on today?
Yeah, so I am in Houston, Texas right now because my candidate for the special election, Christian Menifee, has me busy doing some stuff, but I had to make sure that I showed up for the people, and they are thirsty, right? Like, I know people think of Texas and they always think that we're just some ugly, deep red place, but we're not. And so the resistance is real. The people are out there, they're energetic. And honestly, at a normal rally, I'm kind of like just trying to like get people pumped up. But as I've traveled the country, as I said to them, people are feeling hopeless. And I wanted to make sure that I like address the fact that there's all this hopelessness that people feel and how that is when they win. And so I really wanted to pour into them more than just kind of pump them up. And so it was great though. It's always just warm fuzzies, especially when I'm in a major urban city in Texas.
And so that interview went on longer, but then she went on to talk about at the end, and I suggest that you click on it if you can. At the end of her interview, she talked about being attacked by Stephen A. Smith, and the whole panel weighed in on that. So, and it was fire. Joy Reid was on fire about it. It was just disgusting behavior from Stephen A. Smith. So if you click on that, you'll see what we're talking about. So look, I want to tell you why it is important to understand the moment that you're in. When someone said, be aware of your surroundings at the beginning of this show, we all need to be aware of our surroundings, because they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. And they also want to bring you back to a time that they believe and when America was great for them and not so great for people of color. But first, I just want to show you Jonathan Karl and Mike Johnson. Now, they won't swear in the new Texas Representative Grijalva, and Mike Johnson keeps coming up with bullshit line after bullshit line after bullshit line, and none of it is factual at all. Not a word of it. And so he keeps coming up with excuses. And I have to say, Jonathan Karl did a very good job of holding his feet to the fire, even amidst all the lies. But I want you to be aware of the lies. Watch this.
When are you going to swear in Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva?
As soon as we get back to legislative session, when Chuck Schumer allows us to turn the lights back on.
Why haven't you done it already?
Because this is the way the institution works. I'm following the Pelosi precedent, by the way, when my dear friend from Louisiana, Julia Letlow, was elected to fill the seat of her deceased husband because of COVID. Nancy Pelosi took 25 days to swear her in. By the way,
are you saying? Let me stop you. Are you saying that Nancy Pelosi refused to swear her in earlier?
No, I'm saying that's my very point. Is this is the normal
my
process.
understanding is that was the date that actually the representative-elect Letlow at the time requested. She had obviously her.
Okay, here's some more examples. Okay.
No, but wait a minute. You mentioned the Pelosi precedent, but Pelosi didn't delay that.
Let me give you more of the Pelosi precedent. Okay.
And what about the Johnson precedent? Because you swore in 2 Republicans the day after their election.
I'm happy to answer. Pelosi precedent. Pat Ryan, Joe Semplinsky. They were elected during an August recess. So 21 days later, when the House returned to regular legislative session, they were administered the oath. That's what we're doing. We're not in session right now. Rep. Grijalva was elected after the House was out of session. As soon as we return to legislative session, as soon as the Democrats decide to turn the lights back on so we can all get back here, I will administer the oath on the first day.
You could swear her in tomorrow, right?
No, not tomorrow. No, we couldn't. We wouldn't. There was an exception for 2 Floridians earlier in this Congress, but the reason was they were duly elected, they had a date set, they flew in all their friends and family, and the House went out of session.
So if she flies in friends and family, then
we don't have a date set. She was elected after.
Okay. Let me ask you about the president.
Mike Johnson is so full of shit. Come on, man. You guys believe that? Maybe the president must have dumped on his head. I mean, come on. So full of shit. Now, I'm just going to tell you that normally I don't want to give people like this platform. However, in the spirit of being aware of your surroundings and being aware of what you're dealing with, there are lots of, let's just put it out there, lots of racists in the Republican Party. I should say, MAGA. The Republican Party is MAGA right now. In MAGA, I've made that very clear. There's no secret that I've said that I believe that a big faction of the MAGA movement is racist, and people take offense to that. I mean, the truth is the truth. And if they're not, then they had to overlook a lot of racism and a whole lot of bigotry in order to be supportive of this movement and to vote for this president. And so you have all of these people, these influencers who are out there, and people who speak on behalf of the administration and the party, and who actually, quite honestly, helped to get Donald Trump elected. And folks who are in the background who are, well, let's talk about the party. Wanting to remove books about American history, Black history, which is American history, about slavery from schools, not allowing their kids to learn about it because it makes certain people feel bad, trying to get rid of in our art institutions around the country, trying to get rid of anything that references American slavery. And so what is at the heart of the basis of all of this? That is racism. So this person is, I think, indicative of the issues that we face and the kind of people we're up against, and the Charlie Kirk wannabes and the Nick Fuentes wannabes, who really are influential, have a huge influence on young people. Okay, this person says slavery isn't necessarily bad. Here it is.
The institution of slavery is not inherently evil. I know. Some of you guys are upset by that. Some of you guys are saying, I've been saying that for years. Okay, I'll take it a step further. It is not inherently evil to own another human being. I know, just wait. Some of you guys are really upset, but let's talk through this because it is very important that every Christian affirm what I just said. And not only should they affirm it, every Christian in today's society should be able to defend what I just said, okay? Every Christian should be able to defend it. Big evangelicalism has been getting this wrong for years, basically since the Genesis, since the advent of Big Eva. They haven't had a good answer for the slavery issue. All right, Christians in America have been led astray on this topic. They've been led to believe things that the Bible doesn't teach. And when we go beyond the Bible, there are dire consequences.
So, I wrote a book on religion and God and the Bible and all of that. And these are the people, these religious nationalists and these white nationalists. It's all the same. So again, it's obvious that guy's a clown. But that's clowns start small. And there are many of him. Now, obviously, you can see that he's acting and he's wanting to be someone else. He's trying to pretend. He's mimicking some other folks who are in this space. And they are all doing it. And it penetrates. So careful of people presenting themselves as Christians and are not, and not behaving in Christian ways like Charlie Kirk. Racism and bigotry is not Christian. It's not godlike. Saying that black women don't have brain processing power or that black pilots or black people are not qualified for certain jobs, it's not Christian-like. And people have a right to feel a certain kind of way about it. And a certain kind of way about bozos like that guy. I don't even know his name. But I wanted people to see it so that you could be aware of your surroundings. That's what being woke really means, is to understand what's going on. And I hope that you are aware and stay aware. I want to show you guys this. If you want to know anything about the Don Lemon Show, you can go to donlemon.com. And you can subscribe on our main page, which is on YouTube. That little arrow right there. You can subscribe and become a member. We appreciate it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and the likes and all of that. Follow us on every single platform. If you want to know anything about the show, you can go to donlemon.com. And you can also go and get this shirt, get the merch, all of that stuff. Merch page is right there. The new stuff. Oh, I forgot everybody to tell you. We have a new hat. We have the black one now. You've seen the two blue ones, but we have the new black hat. I wanted a black one, then we're going to do a black and gray one. But I love this. It's very simple, and it's great. People ask me. I wore it this weekend out on the streets, and everyone asked me about it. I said, go to donlemon.com. Lady in the grocery store. Francesca, there you go. I hope you love your hat. She asked me where I got it, and I told her. So there you go. All right? So I'm going to see you back here at 5 p.m. Eastern time on the Don Lemon Show on the Don Lemon channel. We have something special planned for you then as well. So be informed without being inundated. I hope you learned something. Did you guys learn something today? Did you know what's happening in the world? You see how ridiculous the Trump folks are? Take all of that energy from this past weekend and move forward. Be confident. You have rights as an American that you should not be concerned about. You should be concerned about what people are doing, but you should know your rights and you should stand up to them. Be like the woman in the courthouse who said, you come at me, I'm going to come back at you with the exact same energy. I know my rights. Okay. So be informed without being inundated. Until I see you back here at 5 p.m. Eastern time live on the Don Lemon Show on the Don Lemon channel. For Lemon Live at 5, turn the TV off. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.